friends. I'm Jennifer with Triangle Wellness with Jennifer, and we're going to talk about hamstrings tonight. So, hamstrings, it's important to understand that the reason so many of us have tight hamstrings is because we mostly sit all day long, or we're in a bending our knees and bending down. So our hamstrings are in a constant state of contraction. And so we have to be mindful enough to know that we need to stretch our hamstrings in order to maintain that flexibility. So we're going to work on some stretches tonight to help with our hamstrings. I will say this is an area that I personally can benefit a lot from. I have extremely tight hamstrings, especially on my left side. For some reason, that one is the more of a problem area for me. So we're going to start on our backs. We're going to do one stretch there, and then we're going to move into some additional stretches on hands and knees. We're going to do a standing sequence, and we'll finish in a seated position. So you will need a strap for this first stretch and only this first stretch. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You can use a belt or scarf, anything that you have that you can just use around the house will work. So we're just going to come to lie on our backs, and we're just basically doing a hamstring stretch here. And we're utilizing the strap to help because most of us probably can't reach our toes when we have our leg extended like this. So the strap just gives us a little bit of extra space. And so I like to start with my knee pretty generously bent, and then just slowly start to kind of bend and extend, bend and extend. Do be careful not to lock that knee out. So even when you have it fully stretched, you want to keep a micro bend in that knee so that your joint is not locked out. So just work this through what's comfortable for you. You'll start to feel it release a little bit as you do this. And if it feels better to you to just hold this static stretch, that's okay too. And we're just going to switch sides. On my left side now, whichever side you started with is fine. So this one is definitely much tighter for me. So I have to take this one a little bit slower. My knee stays probably more generously bent on this side. Takes it a little bit longer to open up. So just work that. Hold the static stretch if that feels good. And release that. Okay, we won't be needing the strap anymore, so you can put that to the side. And now we're going to come into a low lunge. So I'm going to start with my right foot forward and my left knee down into a short lunge. And keep your fingertips down on the mat, because what we're going to do is we're going to move in and out of a half split. So started in this lunge. We're going to move. We're going to bring our right foot back. So you're going to feel as though you're pulling your hip in towards the body. Your left side should remain as level as possible. So you're not coming all the way back. You can, but for the purpose of this stretch, that's not really what we're going for. And we're just going to move in and out of this. So you should feel this stretch in the back of that right hamstring. And it should feel pretty good. So just work your way forward and back. You can take a few seconds to hold the stretch, flex the foot. So if it feels better to you to just hold it statically, that's fine. This is for whatever works best and feels best in your body. This is to help your hamstrings. So do what feels good to you. Just move in and out a few more times here. Okay, and now we're just going to come up and kind of pivot to face the long edge of the mat. And we're just going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So again, you can keep a slight micro bend in the knees. Bend as lower as far as is comfortable for you. That could be fingertips on the mat. It could be hands on the mat. You can lower your head down. whatever's comfortable for you. Just take a few minutes, feel that nice stretch in the back of the hamstrings. Take a few deep breaths. And now we're going to move into a side lunge. So you're going to bend into the right knee, and you're going to come up onto the heel of the left foot. Fingertips can stay on the ground. If you can lower the right foot all the way down to the floor, that's great. If you can't and you need to keep that heel off of the mat, that's okay too. So that you should feel that stretch down through the back of the left hamstring. And we're just going to kind of crawl our way over, kind of come back up into that fold position, and we're just going to come right down on the other side. So, for example, I mentioned that my left side stays pretty tight. I cannot lower my heel completely down on the left side. I can on my right side, but I cannot on my left side. You may notice that about yourself too. It's completely normal for one side to not quite cooperate like the other side. So just notice it. Just something to keep in mind, and knowledge for yourself about your body. Okay, and what we're going to do now, we're just going to go back and forth a few times. So we're going to kind of crawl our way over to the right, crawl our way over to the left. And you might have some popping and cracking in your knees. Over to the right, over to the left. One more time on each side. To the right, and over to the left. And now we want to come into that lunge on the opposite side. So we're going to start by coming one more time into this wide-legged forward fold. You can take a moment to pause and feel that stretch. And now we're just going to turn, and we're going to come into that lunge on the other side. So our left foot is going to come up. We're going to stay down on our right knee, and we're going to do that same in and out stretch with on this side. So we're going to come in and out of that half splits. So again, just move in and out. Feel that hamstring opening and loosening. And again, if it feels better to you, or if you want to take a few moments just to stop and statically hold the stretch, feel free to do that as well. That feels really good to me right now because, again, this is my tighter side. Okay, and now we're going to come back to hands and knees, and we're just going to shift into downward facing dog. So hands should be shoulder width apart. Make sure to spread your fingers and take a few moments to just pedal it out. Probably notice that your hamstrings hopefully feel at least a little more open than usual right now. And so we're just going to do a little sequence here, a standing sequence of stretches that are great for the hamstrings. So the first pose we're going to come into is Warrior Two. So we're going to lift our right leg up. We're going to bring it through to between our hands, and you're going to pivot the left foot to the parallel to the short edge of the mat, extend the arms forward. And in this stretch, you want to make sure that your knee is over your ankle in the front, and also that you're pushing your leg towards well, in my case, I'm pushing my knee like towards the back wall. So you do want to aim for an external rotation here. You don't want the knee coming inward. So externally pushing that knee and thigh back. Okay, and now we're going to transition into extended side angle. So the legs stay as they are. The right arm is going to come down over the thigh, and your left arm is going to extend over your ear. And if you want to bring your arm down a little lower, that is okay. And you want to make sure here that you're not slumping down. It is more of a side stretch or side bend. So your chest should be opening up. So you should feel as though your chest is pushing back towards the back of wherever you're practicing. And now we're going to shift into triangle pose. So you're going to straighten the front leg. Again, keep a micro bend in this knee. And this arm is going to extend up while your right arm is going to lower down as far as you can. In front of the shin might be where you are. If you have the flexibility to go all the way to the mat with your fingertips, that's great too. Either way works because you're targeting towards those hamstrings. So that's what we're working on stretching. So if you're not reaching the floor, it's perfectly okay. If you can look up, great. Keep the same type of chest motion as the previous stretch. You don't want to be slumping over. You want to have your chest open. And we're just going to come up and back into warrior two. So bend into that front knee. And we are going to rotate the back foot. We're just going to kind of come forward a little bit. So you're going to come in a couple of inches. And while you're doing that, you want to turn your foot so that it's facing, both feet should be facing the same direction. Knees should be straight. And you're just going to fold over as far as you can into this stretch. This is a pretty deep stretch for the hamstrings. So if this is where you land, that's fine. If you want to come down, fingertips to the mat. If your head can come down, that's fine too. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. And you want to make sure still that you're not locking that joint. So legs straight, yes, but don't have your knees locked. You should have a little bit of a micro bend, a little bit of give in that knee. And this, again, can be a pretty intense stretch. So if you need to bend the knees, that's okay. And again, only go as far as is comfortable for you. And now we're just going to step back into downward facing dog. Walk it out a little bit, and we're just going to repeat that same sequence on the opposite side. So we're going to bring our left leg up, left foot comes between the hands, and we're going to come into warrior two. So that back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat, knee over the ankle. Make sure that you're engaging the leg so that it's moving externally and not folding in. We're going to come into extended side angle. So the left arm comes down over the thigh. Right arm comes over. The bicep is coming over the ear. Come down as far as is comfortable for you. The knee stays bent. So your legs are in the same position. Again, making sure that we keep that chest as open as we can. And now straighten that leg. And we're going to come into triangle. So the hand comes all the way down to the mat if you're able. Shoulders are stacked. Look up to the top hand if you can do that. Keep a slight micro bend in the knee. Don't forget to breathe. And now here comes that tricky transition just a little bit. We're going to come back into warrior two for just a moment. And then again, we're going to bring that back foot in a couple inches, and we're going to turn our foot towards the front to come into that pyramid stretch on this side. So again, you're going to fold forward as much as is comfortable for you. Again, this is my tighter side, so I am really feeling it here. Don't forget to breathe. Keep a micro bend in that knee. Don't forget to breathe. And hands come to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. One last time here. And lower to the knees. And we're just going to come into a seated position Oh, and I did lie. We are going to use that strap again here for these last two stretches just to make it easier on us for our hamstrings. The first one we're going to do is a standard forward fold, except we are going to use the strap around our feet. So get your strap, bring it around the balls of the feet. Hold on wherever is comfortable for you. Keep micro bending those knees. Don't lock your knees out, and then fold forward as far as you can. And if you want to do this without the strap, that's okay. Take a few breaths. And release. And we just have one more stretch we're going to do. We're going to do, bring your feet into a wide-legged. And just again, we're going to start on the right side. We're going to bring that strap around our leg, and we're just going to fold down over the right leg. Make sure that you keep your sitting bones both to the mat. You don't want to come up off of your more on one side than the other. Keep your hips level to the ground. Come back up, switch sides. Fold down. Keep a slight bend in that knee. Don't forget to breathe. And again, you don't have to use a strap if you want to just fold forward. Typically, when I'm really trying to work the hamstrings in particular, sometimes I find it helpful to use a strap. So those are the stretches and poses that hopefully will help you with those hamstrings, both to strengthen and stretch them out. Again, all the sitting we do, it's natural that our hamstrings are going to be in that state of contraction, which is going to cause them to tighten on us. So it is important to actively remember to stretch them. If I hope this works, let me know how it goes. You can always leave me a comment. And thank you so much for inviting me into your home. And for those of you who requested sequences on hamstrings, thank you. I hope this helps you. And if there's anything else that you would like to see sequences on, please just message me and let me know. Thanks so much. Have a great night.